Hello, I'm Keith Kreischer of the IoT M2M Council, or IMC, and we're here at the inaugural Embedded World North America show in Austin, Texas. I'm joined by my good friend and colleague, Syed Z. Hosain. We call him Z affectionately, former chairman emeritus of the IMC itself, but also C-level at Aeris Communications. Z, welcome.
Thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate being here.
First question, how's the show going?
Oh, so far so good.
It's the first one, right?
Absolutely.
So we have to
wandering around and taking a look at, and meeting up with people that I haven't seen in a while, actually. It's kind of cool.
You were on a panel this morning. Talk to us about that. What was discussed, and
Sure thing.
Where's that head?
It was a security panel. It was kind of key item for us to be worrying about, because IoT security is something that we all need to take into account for sure. I think it is important to keep in mind that while we've been talking about IoT security for many, many years, in fact my first presentation on the matter was more than 20 years ago at this point, we have not taken it seriously enough. And yet there are issues with IoT security that if we don't worry about it, it's going to explode in our faces in a hurry. And with all the new regulations and activity that is taking place in IoT security matters, if you will, including consumer devices, not just the electronics that go into high-end connected cars or something like that, it's a big deal. And so the panel was important because I think we need to provide that visibility to people who don't really know what to do.
Right. Obviously this is a big issue for the IMC.
Yeah.
As a group, we're pursuing security, trying to figure out what to do, frankly, and our feeling is sort of, we agree that we need to have things that are more practical, more prescriptive than what's out there today.
Right.
We need to be covering all layers of the IoT stack.
Absolutely.
I mean, these are some of the things that we just, on a very preliminary basis, sort of concluded, where that takes us, I guess.
Yeah, I think if you look at the way the regulations are phrased, they tend to be directives, thou shall do this, thou shall not do that, blah, 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 but they don't tend to tell you how to get there. And that's what I think guidelines, practical experience makes a big difference, and that's what we hope to achieve, not only with the stuff that we're working on, but also what the IoT Security Guidelines Project is all about. Yeah.
Right. Aeris has been working on security for a long time. We know that. There's a new service that you guys have been discussing. Can you talk to us about that? Can you elaborate on it?
We haven't formally announced it yet. On the other hand, we have been providing beta demonstrations to a lot of customers. And in fact, some of the delays have been because they love the product and they've asked us to make some changes that we've incorporated into the latest versions that we're going to be talking about. So you'll see us making more formal announcements between now and probably CES about this new capability. We've been in the business of providing IoT connectivity for years, and for more than 28 years at this point since I've been there. And in the past 10 years or so, we've been working on internal metadata analysis, which we are now going to make available to our customers, not just for the networking concepts that are involved in sending IoT data, but also the content.
Aeris, of course, being a networking company.
Exactly, but also for content if they want us to. And the beauty about the way we're doing it is that it can be enabled in a matter of minutes. We don't have to wait days or weeks or months to configure. We can enable the security systems and monitoring capabilities that we've been deploying in a matter of minutes, and so people love it. And we're going to be making more formal announcements of this in the very near future, so keep an eye out.
Right. Switching gears a little bit.
Sure.
Aeris has obviously completed the acquisition of the IoT assets of Ericsson. That's been announced for some time ago. How is that going? How does that change Aeris's fundamental business?
Sure. Well, when we started out, we were a direct services capable company for connectivity, meaning that we would provide, through our arrangements, direct arrangements with the mobile network operators around the world, the connectivity services that we had in two business units. One was our IoT business unit, and then the automotive business unit. Some time back, we decided that we would acquire this capability that Ericsson had. They were looking for a company that was in the business of IoT, who knew exactly what they were up to and what we could do for our potential customers. So what it did for us is dramatically change the picture. Where we had X million, about 14 or 15 million devices, we're now at close to 90 million, 80 or 90 million devices globally around the world, which is kind of nice. We may have had about, I forget the exact numbers, but somewhere in the order of 600, 700 enterprise customers of our own. Now we have more than 6,500 enterprise customers, because what we do, what that business does for us is help mobile network operators in that partnership that we have with them through the Ericsson business sell. IoT services around the world. So we have some giant companies that you would recognize that are part of our IoTA platform, as we call it, the IoT Accelerator platform that Ericsson called it, and now we are operating that. And it's working out well. We have finished most of the integration work involved in bringing the systems together, some final changes that are being made, and it's growing tremendously well. That number actually has been going up somewhere between 20 or 30% per year in terms of number of units deployed, which is phenomenal, and we love it.
You and I have talked about, there's a strong AI component to that acquisition.
Yes, and that's the whole point, which is that when you look at our security tools in particular, we base that on machine learning of the data that is going through, the metadata as well as content if the customer wants us to look at that. And the AI component, in my mind, is always a little bit carefully done, meaning that automation associated with machine learning and dealing with security issues should be carefully implemented, because you don't want to accidentally shut down a device that may have repercussions for the customers who need to have that data continue to work. So while customers have control, right now they have more manual control than not, the AI portions of those implementations, if you will, are still being tested and deployed. So we will have that capability, but carefully managed. And that's an opinion, not a statement about how we're implementing our security system.
Certainly hearing a lot about AI here in Embedded World. It's a hot topic.
It's a hot topic.
As one would expect.
Absolutely. And I want to make sure that we distinguish sort of the current hot topic of ChatGPT or generative AI, if you will.
It's
from
less generative, more, for lack of a better word, traditional AI.
Traditional AI, so to speak. So we want to be careful about that. Obviously, machine learning focuses more on the generative AI portion of it, but then the traditional AI portions, if you will, that, hey, I grew up with that from college days 50 years ago, to be honest with you. Those are still in the works, if you will.
Great stuff. Hey, talking with my good friend, Aeris' Z Hosain here at Embedded World North America at the IMC's IoT Pavilion. Z, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you.